I study it as a pitch on the economics of a satellite of great scale that is a data center. So in a satellite, you have the body. And right now, the body in any given satellite is a probe of some kind. It creates data and sends it back down to Earth. What SpaceX is pitching is a story where there are thousands and thousands of satellites, and in the body of that satellite with massive solar arrays and radiators is a server.
You're in Charlottesville, Virginia. You're lecturing CFA Institute on this. What's your x-axis to the hopes and dreams of Mr. Musk? Is it 3 years? Is it 30 years?
This is why it's worth us discussing this on air right now, Wednesday morning, for an IPO that will price tomorrow and trade Friday. Because actually, something has been happening since Sunday night. Bankers around the country have been pitching this idea in real time. And based on our reporting, the institutional investors, long-only asset managers, are placing orders for $10 billion of shares, big blocks, because they believe in the economics of what Elon Musk is pitching on the data center side. In other words, I'm saying the roadshow has worked based on our reporting. Sunday night, they had a certain number of orders. By Wednesday morning, they had many more, and thus we arrived to a place where they're oversubscribed. By the way, the math on a space-based data centers is the same as a data center on Earth. It's $1 per token, how many dollars it takes to generate a token, or $1 per kilowatt, the dollar to generate a kilowatt worth of compute, which is measured in the electrical draw. It's exactly the same. I know, Paul. I see it in your face.
It hasn't been done. When do they expect to deploy some of this technology?
So this is why I say this is a live situation. The roadshow has meaning. In the prospectus, they very clearly outlined that they expected to put an orbital data center in place 2028 into 2029.
Okay.
The bankers and SpaceX's representatives have been telling very important investors ahead of the IPO that they actually might pull that forward a little bit and do a demo, a test, a pilot in 2027. But given that 3 days ago, we saw the design of the thing for the first time, and how many times have you rolled your eyes at me or cautioned me on Elon Musk stating a date and then see where we actually land? So all of that gets taken into account. But it is also in the boilerplate risk factors of the document, you know, so that's how I view it.
Pages. Has Elon been on the road pitching this personally, do we know?
You know, I don't have any reporting or evidence that he has done much beyond the conversation he had with Jamie Dimon. Brett Johnson is SpaceX's CFO. He's much less known. He's basically SpaceX's only ever CFO. And he is going to preside over the finance org that does the biggest IPO in history, much more engaged directly with the bankers, the important shareholders. You will notice that Elon Musk, I don't know, I see the Elizabeth Warren headlines on the SEC. I don't really have any reporting on that, but
it's fine.
I would say Elon Musk has continued to post on X quite often
so
in this period.
Well, two questions. Let's start with this.
Please.
Ed Ludlow with us, folks, the high ground on technology. Do you just assume SpaceX and Tesla made at some point?
Yes. I mean, I don't assume. The market assumes that in the end, SpaceX and Tesla still merge.
So this is what drives in. I think of George Noble, definitive fidelity overseas, and many, many other critics of all this. They think the Ed Ludlow world is just, it's going to hell in a basket. Kara Carlson, Bloomberg News.
Yes.
Tesla has 59 robo-taxis in 3 Texas cities, and yet people talking to you say this is the second coming of whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the discontinuous nature of the Ed Ludlow world.
Yeah.
Just discuss that.
So the thesis is that if Tesla gets there on the end, where they have fleets of thousands and thousands of robo-taxis, in other words, a Tesla vehicle that has no human driver, it drives itself, there is an element in that of onboard compute. The cars have computers on them, which helps them perceive the world around them. But this is still AI, where you are asking an underlying algorithm AI model to do something. That still requires some kind of mathematics going on in a data center. So the link is, if SpaceX is going to do thousands of satellites in orbits that are data centers, and they're focused on what we call inference, running the AI model, Tesla becomes the first big customer of that.
Gotcha.
It is Elon having a negotiation with Elon.
How is a robo-taxi going to pick somebody up at Terminal 1 at JFK?
Good question. How they've done it at other airports is to have designated pickup areas.
They're
Simples.
not JFK.
Yeah, I know they're not.
Kansas City has a gorgeous new airport. Frankly, Manila has a gorgeous new airport.
Can I give you a case study? SFO, please. Right? So Waymo services SFO. Dear listener, if you're not watching on YouTube, I'm waving my fingers in the air in asterisk. Operates at SFO. You have to go out the terminal, up the escalator, onto the air train, change stop, go on another stop, walk 500 feet, and then you can get picked up by a Waymo SFO. So like that's the reality of it.
Yep. What's going to happen Thursday? I don't want to pin you down. If you're wrong, we understand that I'm wrong all the time.
Well, look.
What's your best guess is going to happen Thursday into Friday?
Kyle Porter and I reported that SpaceX had valued this and priced this IPO early at 1.77 trillion, and Musk replied on X saying false. In the end, when all the documents came out, it was 1.77 trillion and $135 per share price. So we got that right. However, because this is atypical and unusual, they priced ahead of the roadshow. People don't know what will happen. There is every legal, mechanical, and psychological chance that the price goes way up. You know, that they price it higher, that we're talking about a company in excess of 2 trillion. How it trades at the Friday, whenever that gets going, I have no idea. It's academic, isn't it? It doesn't matter. But right now, the state of play is so clear. This is a massively oversubscribed IPO, and people want to participate in it.
How about retail? I think they allocated initially maybe 30%. So how's that playing out?
There's an outstanding question, which is indirectly, Musk has promised Tesla's very loyal, quite broad retail shareholder base that they would get some kind of access to this IPO. And that's not been codified. There's no mechanism for that. So I'd be interested in that. You know, Musk has talked about rewarding loyalty in that sense. It'd be interesting to see how those Tesla shareholders react if they weren't able to participate. Remember, the institutional book closes 4 p.m. today, but all these different platforms offering the retail trade, I think that carries on till Thursday night.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Institutional book closes today.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, I'll get my order in.
You're looking at me with great skepticism, but that's healthy. Like, how healthy is that? That's good.
Yep. All right.